name is Marta Bruski. I'm from the This Network. I would like to warmly welcome you to this milestone event of our project BASE. I would like to welcome also my colleague Julia here, the project manager of BASE from the This Network. And welcome all the 25 partners for the BASE project. It would take me long to introduce all of you, but I'm sure you will get to know them among others. So, yes, according to World Economic Forum, by 2030, nearly 40% of the skills of the co-workers will change. What does it mean? That, on average, 40% of your skills may become obsolete. Better, 85 million of jobs may be displaced by the automation. Even a bit better message by the same report is that 95 million of job positions may emerge through the adaptation of economy to the technological progress, to the digital and green transition. So the figures sets out the clear message. It's not anymore about simply creating the jobs. It's about giving the skills to people so that they move into those jobs. The European Commission sets as one of the key barriers for the European competitiveness the skills gap and skills shortages. So that is why the reskilling, upskilling, and lifelong learning became one of the top priorities for the European policy making. So investing in people is not anymore a social objective. Is the economic necessity. The organization that I work for, the This Network, this hasn't been a new conversation. We've been focused on skills, on the competence building, and above all on identifying the emerging trends, and that's been focused, and that's been one of the key pillars of the activities that we've done along now 30 years. Next year. And what we've done, what we are trying to do, we try to equip organizations, our members, to make them ready to adapt to the, especially now, ever-changing labor market, but also to equip them with the tools, with the resources, with the methodologies, to create a structural pathway so they can implement that reskilling, upskilling for their beneficiaries. And BASE is all about what I said before. So I hope we responded for all those challenges that I just told you before from the World Economic Forum report. But a few days ago, I came across to the other report that European Commission just published on the skills shortages or labor shortages. And there is a clear message that what's happening in Europe is that there is a huge skills mismatch. So what does it mean? So we've got people that got skills, we've got jobs, but the problem is that the skills mismatch the needs of the employers. So that is one of the huge issues. The other issue is the ability to foresee what the skills, what the competences will be needed in few years. Because now we are not talking about the decades. We are talking about 5 years. By 2030, we are 2026. So let's think about how fast it is changing. So I think that investing in people, investing in a way that people adapt to the labor market and adapt actually to this emerging new positions that we at the end don't know what's going to be. Because with the AI, with the digital, with the green transition, with this trend for the sustainable business model, we are a little bit living in unknown, but we need to come into the terms of this unknown and keep on learning. So this continuous learning, for me, is the key competence that organizational businesses should invest. So BASE, today, in the past 4 years, with 25 partners, we have created tools. We have created a social comp, which is one of the first European competence framework dedicated to social economy. We've created the online platform with training, with online training. We have updated the occupational profiles that you would see here in the posters, so take a look. That emerged, you have updated it, so we haven't created it, but that basically respond to evolving needs. Social comp you can find on the other posters, so you can look what competences we found crucial. And we have as well updated the training curricula in more than 10 countries. So we have done loads of job that is very relevant of today. So innovation's been a key. We started 4 years ago with the results that are here, ready to use for the challenges that I told you before. So I will take you through the agenda. So after myself, there will be Anna from University of Mondragon to actually give you more details about the BASE project and to go really deeper into what we have done. Then we'll have the session 1, the keynote, that will be moderated by our president, Luca Pastorelli. Soon you will get to know also the speakers. Then the second session, so we would go a little bit more into the BASE roadmap. So after that, you will have a really comprehensive overview about the BASE. And the most important are the interactive workshops. So we have 3 workshops that you would be able to choose from. So the first workshop will be from skills to impact, and that will be led by NIPE. Then integrating social economy skills into higher education. We have 2 universities, University of Liège and Hildesheim. And then we have the workshop 3, sustainability and strategy, and that will be led by Social Economy Europe. So you've got also some details of the workshops on the tables and also at the panels. So just take a look, think where is your place, and queue, because we have a maximum 20 people per workshop. And then after, we've got a lunch break. Then we have 2 quick sessions with the wrap-up. And most importantly, if you stay till the end, we have the cocktail time, which will be just around there, outside. So you will also, you can go walk around and see also the nice area. And yes, that's it. Did I forget about something? Yes, this is important. So we've got there on the left-hand side, nearby the coffee, the mural of skills. So you've got all the pens, all the colors to write down, to share with us what are the main skills and competences for the ecosystem that you think that they are relevant today or for the future. So you're free to do anything you wish. So draw or write a poem, or maybe a little joke. Anyway, so this will be our kind of a creative outcome of this workshop. Thank you very much, and I would like to invite Anne to take it over from me.
How are you? Very good. There was a table here before. Come on. Okay, where do I have? Okay. So good morning to everyone. I would like to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude for the hard work that this consortium of BASE has put on to get where we are today. So thank you very much to everyone. I am speaking today on behalf of Mondragon University, Mondragon Universitatea, for our Faculty of Engineering. Being part of the social economy ecosystem provide us with a privileged perspective. We understand that technology and engineering must be at the service of people. Therefore, leading and participating in projects like BASE is a central mission of ours, transferring cutting-edge knowledge to the social economy. But why BASE, and why now? We are at a historic crossroad. The European Action Plan has placed the social economy at the heart of the recovery. However, we cannot lead the triple transition using yesterday tools. The BASE project was based. The BASE project was born because we detected a critical risk. Although we represent the 8% of the European Union's GDP, our technical skills are at risk of obsolescence, as just Marta explained it to us. So BASE exists specifically to bridge that knowledge gap. To turn this vision into reality, BASE Blueprint for Advanced Skills and Training in the Social Economy was officially launched in June 2022, founded by the Erasmus Plus program. We are now at the end of the project, and the conclusions I am and we are, all of us presenting today, are the results of 4 really amazing years of validation with the 25 European partners. BASE is not an isolated project research. In essence, it is a bridge, a necessary link between the European Union's macro strategy and the daily operations of our cooperatives and social enterprises. It carries undeniable representative weight of 25 organizations from 10 different countries working together under the leadership of Mondragon Universitatea. The fact that an engineering faculty leads this consortium is not a coincidence. It is a clear signal that the social economy is claiming its place at the technical forefront. The European Union faces a resilience challenge. So how can we help them? Our answer is the triple transition. Digital, not as an end, but as a tool. Green, for an economy that respects planetary boundaries. And inclusive, the differential factor that defines us. All social organizations, no matter the size, the sectors, share one key asset: people. But commitment to the community is not enough if it is not backed by a professional training strategy. This is why BASE focuses on upskilling and reskilling. We want this transition to be a driver of quality employment and not a factor of exclusion. So, to ensure the results we share today, BASE was structured into 7 work packages and a 4-year process, ensuring every step is evidence-based. We didn't start by designing courses, we start by listening. We conducted deep European research to identify the real gap between what organizations needed and what the training market offered regarding the triple transition. With that data, we defined socio-comp. And I want to emphasize that we didn't reinvent the wheel. Socio-comp is aligned with established European frameworks such as DigiComp, GreenComp, EntreComp. We took these European standards of excellence and translated them into the social economy reality. We took digitalization, sustainability, and entrepreneurship and gave them a human purpose. We are not creating an educational island. We are connecting the social economy to the continent of European competencies. Socio-comp is not just a catalog of technical skills, it is our roadmap of empowerment. Outside our borders, the social economy is sometimes wrongly viewed as a patch for the system flaws. At base, and specifically from our experience at Mondragon, we defend that true social fulfillment is only achieved through more egalitarian and inclusive societies. Social comp, therefore, is a tool for professionalization and dignity. It ensures that every person, from managers to operators, has their skills recognized, not just to handle technology, but to lead democratically. We don't seek competitiveness for its own sake. We want our people to have the capacity to build the fairer society the 21st century is demanding. Well, so socio-comp is a public good, as Marta already explained, generated by the BASE consortium for the entire ecosystem that Europe needs. It is accessible to any organization via our Moodle platform, and it is an open learning space where individuals can access to modernized training itineraries for free. In BASE, we understand that a skilled person is an autonomous person, and a society of autonomous, committed people is, by definition, a resilient society. Okay, but what do we hope to achieve? We seek to transform the educational and labor reality by creating curriculum that meet real industry needs, ensuring social economy talent can move across Europe with validated skills, and strengthening the digital and management capacities of our professionals. In 2021, the European Commission identified 14 key ecosystems for Europe's autonomy, one being proximity and social economy. This was an unprecedented declaration of intent. However, we must go further. Our conclusion in BASE is that we cannot remain in a silo. The social economy is not just one ecosystem. It is a way, for example, to manage agri-food ecosystem, or a way to understand renewable energy, or a way to develop digital ecosystem. We are a cross-sectoral model. We are a way of inhabiting all other ecosystems, as you can read here. We are not just a statical hidden. We are the model that guarantees that industry digitalization and tourism sustainability, for example, are done under criteria of internal democracy and social justice. We are not a what, we are a how. So thank you very much, and as we say in the Basque Country, eskerrik asko.
Hi, thank you. So continuing with the agenda, I invite here, please, Gianluca Pastorelli, our great president of DSIS, if you want to come over. Baptiste Mandouze from DG Employment. Marina Monaco from ETUC, and Veronica Arduino, LLP, please. Thank you. And for coming. Hi.
Thanks.
We have more than one person.
Good morning, everyone. It is really, well, a bit sad, but happy because the project base comes to an end. So it's a bit sad, but the results are so great. And after 4 years of collaboration, now we can also look forward to see and have this first panel as a kind of introduction and conversation. And we invited here, and thank you very much for taking the time to come here, three speakers who represent three important parts of the ecosystem that where the social economy and the skills can find an interlocution. We start with the vet providers. The Long Life Learning Platform is one of the most known and ancient, I would like to say at this stage, a network of vet providers that we have in Europe. Then social economy organizations. Let's remind that they are employers. They provide jobs, and then we have workers. And then we would like also to hear the workers' opinion on that. So Marina Monaco from the European Trade Union Confederation, a long time collaborator in many projects before, and so if I don't go wrong, you have the social economy dossier at the ETUC, and the European institutions, the European Commission, and the DG Employment, Baptiste Mandouze, and DG Employment is, in this phase, the Directorate General that is reigning over the social economy. So we have some questions for you. After this, say, 4 years, and this project comes just after the closing of the project comes after two important events from the institutional point of view in Europe. One is the midterm review of the Social Economy Action Plan, where, as indication for the next years until 2030, the skills are one of mentioned and recommended in one of the three pillars. And we had also a very important report published by the OECD, focusing about social economy and competitiveness. And I would like also to have these two documents in mind as a background, because I will start with Baptiste. So skills are always been important part of the labor market, and but are they becoming even more strategic for the social economy, especially?
Good morning, everyone. I'm really happy to be here at this final event of the BASE project, and I'm really happy and delighted to see so many faces that I meet here and there every time we talk about skills and social economy in general. Well, I think it was mentioned by Marta in introduction. Yes, skill is becoming, or is already a key priority for the European Union agenda and for all our member state agenda. This is known. Our EVP Roxana Minzatu presented, I think, a few months ago, the Union for Skills. So we have an agenda. It's a top priority for us, and now we try to implement this initiative that is covering several pillars. So it's, I think, not only important for the social economy, maybe for any sectors, because we know the transversality of social economy in general. And we do believe that investing in skills is a necessity, not only for the young generation, but also, and I think Mondragon University said it, for all the workers, like from the beginning of their professional life up to the moment they're going to retire and ever after. So if you have to link this, the social economy, skills topic on this EU agenda on resilience and competitiveness, I think they are mutually reinforcing each other. We have no doubt here the place the social economy has in general when we talk to the preparedness and the resilience topic. We've seen this through the different crises. We know how it anchors the territories. And when it comes to the competitiveness, I think there is a narrative, there is a lot of best practice and positive story, but we need also to question the way social economy entity, and I'm talking here not only the social enterprise and the cooperative, but also the associations. I was just looking data. In average, I think the board of a French association is around 50 plus years old. And way of working also need to be reinvented. And this is the beauty of the social economy organization, is that like we are reinventing ourselves every day and thinking new way of working to be more efficient and to deliver better on the triple transition is something that I think was in the heart of the BASE project and should be seen as a necessity in general to ensure that definitely social economy entities, which was mentioned also, are not marginal in the European life, continue to become more and more one of these pillars of the resilience and competitiveness agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Baptiste. So now I think that it was a very clear bridge for the next intervention. So investment in skills is essential for competitiveness, but not only. What about quality job, resilience? Transition.
I will go political, Baptiste. I'll be critical. The thing is that the European Commission, and rightly so, President von der Leyen has underlined the need for a more competitive Europe. The fact is that we must look at competitiveness as something which is rooted in the human resource. Competitiveness without people, without investment in people, is basically impossible to achieve. We are not in the situation where mechanization and digitalization, financiarization have replaced humans. Will never be. We need to provide tools to people in order to make Europe competitive, resilient. The social market economy, which has ensured so far the well-being that the whole world look at. Yet the skills matter as something which have to be tailored and nurtured across decades in the perspective of the European Union as well as in the perspective of the life cycle of a person. So the first thing is that we should not think of competitiveness as a mere result of mere deregulation. We need rules, we need rights. Skills acquisition must be based on rights. It has to be accessible, it has to be negotiated, it has to be provided to everyone it has to be free, it has to be provided by public money only under the condition that public money is spent in a profitable manner for the trainee and for the whole society. It has to be addressed to a societal goal, because skills are crucial to a labor market which is working, a labor market that feeds the public institution, the welfare system, the social model, and also a labor market which is composed by humans. And social economy is specialized in human-intense sectors. That's why skills matter. Well, thank you.
Veronica. Now, the floor is yours. Now you have to also to say something that raise.
I don't know if I'm at that level, but I join what Marina said, and I would add from the lifelong learning platform perspective, because as Luca mentioned, the lifelong learning represents the VT sector, but not only. We are the largest network covering all sectors of education and training, so from early childhood education until adult education, and including formal, non-formal, and informal settings. So our members are European networks of educational providers, educators, teachers, parents, all the education and training stakeholders. And from that perspective, we promote a vision of education that is not only linked to the labor market, but it's a path for personal fulfillment and social cohesion. And in that sense, I joined the human factor that should be there, not only in social economy. In social economy is there for sure, but should be there in the strategy, European strategy, and also when we talk about competitiveness. And in that optic, I would like to focus not merely on skills. Anyway, the lifelong learning platform focuses on competencies more than, skills are important, but competencies are even more important, because to really adapt to change and the challenges, we don't know what the future holds, but we can learn to adapt, we can learn critical thinking, we can learn basic and transversal competencies, which are for me the focus and the most important aspect we should focus on. And the social economy develops those competencies. So I think social economy again, as we mentioned, it's a key actor, because through the example, because of the participatory governance, through the social inclusion, all the values that brings, it's an important stakeholder also for the education, not just for the labor market. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So looking at the future, Europe, like all the world, is undergoing a lot of transformations in the labor market, especially when it comes to the digitalization and the AI, we know, and demographic change. So this is in the current situation. So looking ahead, let's say, imagine 4 or 5 years, which competencies do you believe that will become the most important for workers and organizations in the social economy? This is something that we, I think, tackled 4 years ago. 2 main ways. The the green, so the fair transition, and the digital one. But looking ahead, what do you think that are the directions that for our sectors we will have to work on the competencies and the skills?
Well, I'll ask ChatGPT. No, just before to reply, I think we all agree into this politics of like the skill issue should be centered around the human being and the promotion of a better like global welfare in the EU. This is for me at the heart of the prosperity agenda we have. The notion of competitiveness in DG employment is not strictly reduced to the share of exports or the way we like classically define on the measurement of total factor productivity. It goes beyond, and even if you look at the later on Draghi report, like competitiveness itself, like is meaningless. It's to preserve the social economy model in Europe you mentioned. So on this, I completely agree. No, to go back on, okay, the skills of the future, well, maybe we can have here a collective reflection. So compared to the situation 4 years ago when you started the project, do you think that what the base did fit the purpose on the need 4 years after? And we should systematically be into these things. So to which extent IA, for instance, was 4 years ago at present in the type of training you developed. Well, for me, definitely what we're looking here is a mix, okay, of technical on human skills. And yes, indeed, I looked at ChatGPT and I know I had a similar talk, I think a year ago in another base. So it's about creative thinking, about problem solving, adaptability, resilience, but the form it has today, and the form we anticipated today, will be different, I think, in a couple of years. On a more personal basis, I will think like there's the two core competence or skills we need today. It's curiosity and the desire to learn. If we keep this, and if we're well equipped for this, I think then adaptability will be here. And definitely, on a more broad topic, we need to adapt curricula to the need. But here we're opening a Pandora box with all what it means. And there is something we need to say also, is that like we're looking at like new skills and get adapted to the future worlds. But let's be honest and look at the basic skill, I think. And the EU data shows there is a decline in mastering basic skills. And I think we should not forget about, get your basics before and above all for the entire population, and so the young generation, but also the working one. And this means that, yeah, we need to collectively think in terms of like adapting, and maybe we talk about it, a curricula, which means that we need to have institutions that need to do the job, but we also need, and I think that was the idea of the BASE project, to equip anyone from anywhere on having the possibility to learn with new way of learning. And I think this is also the skill of the future. It's like being equipped if you have the curiosity and the desire to learn, that like you can find the offer. And you can make it. Thank you.
Skills of the future, or skills for the future.
Skills of the future are the ones that ensure competitiveness, and they need public investment. We know perfectly that DG Employment is not against that. But it has to be acknowledged that in the past 2 decades, the investment of member states for public education has dropped of 42% as an average in the EU. This means that people have lost the possibility to access for free to that crucial step that allows them to learn. Public education, not private education, public education, which is more diversified, which is more challenging in some ways, which is more respondent to the real world because it is not restricted, selected, and pre-digested. Public education needs money because people need to learn how to learn along the whole course of the life. So I of course cannot make a problem to DG Employment, which is our partner in this fight. But we must not hide ourselves behind the we all agree, because unfortunately it is not like that. We can discuss about transversal skills, we can discuss about digital skills. Of course, the digital transition, as far as it helps people, I would like the caregiver of my aunt to be helped by the digitalized tools to deliver medicines correctly at the right time, but no digital tool will be able to replace her in person, or a surgeon who saved my father's life, or somebody who will do the same for me when at 90 I will not be probably able to afford any of this care if we continue like that. And then there is the topic of lifelong learning. Again, let's have a plan for this, and let's face that we have to start. Look, the other dossier I follow is demography and discrimination, and non-discrimination, of course. On the demographic side, we know that the high-level group on demography delivered a huge report which shows the economic return of, also in terms of the famous sustainability of welfare states and so on, the economic return of education since the earliest stages of life. And we talk about education, we talk about kindergartens, we talk about crash, we talk about systems designed to activate people's brain. Curiosity and perseverance, everything helps, but if I don't have the first kick-off opportunity for free everywhere in Europe, difficult to go far. The other aspect concerns the discriminatory challenge. Access to skills, this is a result of the last survey of the access to the ESF-funded training, shows that there are huge parts of the working population which are discriminated in access to training. And guess what? Elderly people are at the top of this discrimination chart. So they are the most available. They are those who can still benefit of an educational system which taught them how to learn. This is not consistent with the idea of competitiveness. And if we are sure that the Commission and the institutions know what this means, we are not sure that companies, if not forced to look in the right direction, know how to enforce the principles of competitiveness based on human capital and social investment in people.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
So I think we mentioned a lot of them, right? We mentioned basic skills, and as Marina remember us, there is a lot of disequalities in education still, and there is a lot of people that doesn't have access to basic skill. Yes. And then we talk about transversal skills, and I'm thinking, the colleague from DG Ample mentioned learning to learn, which is one of the key competencies for lifelong learning. I think in the ENTRECOP framework, the competence framework for entrepreneurship, we talk also about ethical and sustainable thinking, self-awareness, coping with uncertainty. So all those transversal skills, I think they are important for the future. And how education and training system can respond, again, we need funding, we need a flexible path for different learners and different people, so we need also to involve in training and upskilling and reskilling people that lost their job, people that drop out from school and they couldn't follow the mainstream and classical path. And then we need cooperation, I think, between different education sectors. We need a full system approach. We need educational provider, VT, working with public authorities, with ministry, with the families, with the whole ecosystem.
Thank you very much. My colleagues managing the time are making signs that I... Sorry. Okay.
And if there's anyone who wants to make questions, also we're collecting papers from the UNICEF, and we have some time for questions and answers.
Yeah. So, yes, we can do that now. If after this first set of intervention from the audience, are there some comments or reactions or messages that you want to convey to the panelists?
This one was answered. Where do you see the largest gap between policy ambition and organizations' real capacity on the ground? Not sure, well, maybe Baptiste would be more in the policy to answer, but also in the ground.
Well, thanks. But when you look at education and skills policy, I think this is rather at member state level. We try to influence, and we have a certain numbers of tools, among which the one through this project is being financed. It's Erasmus+. This is billions and billions and billions. But for me, the biggest, I mean, it's operational and implementation and policy gap. It's that as human being, working collectively, it takes time to adapt. We all would like to be super agile, but I mean, I'm French, I know my Ministry of Education, and I've seen like 20, 40 years of reform after reform and after reform, and reforming like an institution where you've got millions and millions of people is extremely complex. And for me, this is the biggest gap to make sure that all the organizations that, like, you know, irrespective of their level of agility, can adapt. That's for me definitely the most complex things.
Just to complete, I think that LLP is involved recently in a research project, an Horizon project on inequalities in education, and we analyzed more than 400 reforms in education in different European countries, and 70% of them, for 70% of them, we couldn't find any data on the evaluation of those reforms. And so the gap that I see, it's also a policy making that it's more data-based and evidence-based, and it's more that is listening more to the stakeholders, and so for policies that are not disconnected from the reality and are really based on the stakeholders' need. That it's true for education, it's true for social economy. I mean, I think it's true for every field.
Thank you. There's Sarah once.
Yeah, I don't know if you have the answer, but because there's a union of skills, there's the importance of skills, but then on the other side, there are a lot of reforms that are asked by the Commission to member states that usually affect directly education, health, culture. Here in Belgium, we see there's been a lot of attacks to the education system. So how do we link the union of skills with the policy reforms that are asked at national level, and how do we make sure that at member states level also there is reinforcement of education at all levels, from kindergarten to universities, lifelong learning training? Is that approach, because it seems to me like they're like separate legislations.
You want to?
Okay, I won't pretend I've got an answer to everything. From my perspective, indeed, we've got several pillars under the unions of skills. We've got some recommendations that are done. My own experience is like to look at the social economy action plan on the way it was implemented, so mainly through direct commissions intervention on the country recommendation, and thanks to Jesus who did this evaluation, we saw that indeed implementing this type of action plan and pushing member states to follow the recommendation had an impact at national level. In 2021, we only had Spain, I think, with the social economy strategy. At the end of last year, we had like 10 approved strategy and 11 being prepared, with France, I think, who just like approve his strategy. So yeah, we do influence directly, indirectly, and we create this momentum. I know in many countries they're looking at what they're doing each other, trying to take best practice and idea, using the European Commission as a way of pressure also within own government. I think this is a reality, not always, even to the contrary sometimes. But this is what I see on this level of, I mean, in the life of the European Union. The notion of subsidiarity is really important, and I think there is a vast communication on the way to influence and also to get influenced.
Yes, please.
I would like, if I may, to give you an idea of where I see the issue and the solution at the same time. 3 huge frameworks: the European Pillar of Social Rights, the European Semester and the European Economic Governance rules, the negotiations of the next multi-annual financial framework. The European Pillar of Social Rights is the most is the framework among the 3 which is mostly anchored in the European dimension. It is a policy compass, a political commitment, engagement for everyone. But it needs money to be implemented. And the governance rule, the economic governance rules, and the decisions that are being made by the Council, for example, on how to distribute the EU budget for the next 7 years, are very much anchored into a national logic, which does not help competitiveness, unity, and so on. This is the real gap. This is a real first problem. The trigger to the flow to reverse is exactly the idea that spending less is more profitable than investing. As a matter of fact, the trends of national investment in public education has been desesperating, but we all know the reality of public schools nowadays, classes with 40 people and so on, and difficult to, let alone early education, which is education as well. The multi-annual financial framework as it is designed now concerns, leaves member states the possibility to decide where to spend the EU money, including the ESF money. ESF is the European Social Fund, it's the main fund for education, training, upskilling, and so on. Under this point of view, the shift is clear that the priority for investment are not the European ones, the ones that are stamped in the treaties any longer. They are the ones that are fixed by the national agendas. And I am scared by these decisions. The best that can happen is that these priorities are set on the basis of electoral advantages. But when we say that the solution is more Europe, is demand also through our politicians for more EU treaty-based plans, it can be very concrete, very concrete. Imagine what the cuts are going to be for social economy entities across Europe in the framework of a European Social Fund that doesn't concern social inclusion among its purposes. Social inclusion is going to be reduced to combating material deprivation. This is not an ambition. This is lower than bare necessities. And this is not competitiveness, for sure.
Okay. Any other question or comment? I think we started with skills and we arrived to a much broader, but this is exactly because we wanted to, these keynote sessions tackling the policy side of it, and I think we went very, very high or very low. We will see how the next multi-annual financial framework will be. Anyway, thank you very much to the three of you. Thank you very much for exploring and exploding my silly questions. And then thank you very much. Enjoy our day. If you want to stay, you are the most welcome to see what BASE project has achieved. And thank you very much. I will ask you for an applause to our guests. Thank you very much. Giulia, the floor is yours.
Yes,
you have the power.
I have a microphone. Yes. Thank you. We'll see now, we'll dive in concretely in the BASE project, like what we really have done, what we really have found. We try to see the skills that matter. We went in the policy broad, but well, for me, I took that accessibility is very important to really boost this adaptability, competitiveness, but if it's not for everybody, then it's not the point. But let's see what we actually found out in the BASE project. And so we have Inigo Albizuri. He's General Director in Asset, President of Sicopa Mondo Kids Foundation, and also working as Global Public Affairs in Mondragon Corporation, and honestly a lot more, but I think this is good. And Yossi Ravamanana from ESS France, the Training, Engineering and European Project Manager. She will present to us more concretely, how was the piloting? How was the training? After all we collected, how we implemented in the ground. So we hope it will be a bit practical, interactive. You can come to the table. You can sit down, you can stand up, as you want.
Up to you. But we will change, no? Just in case.
You have one each. Thank you.
Yes? Okay, I think that I didn't prepare a presentation, but
Je n'ai pas préparé les présentations, mais Julia m'a dit qu'on avait besoin d'une présentation.
okay. Well, first of all, it's a big pleasure to be here.
Donc d'abord, c'est un plaisir d'être ici avec vous
Share some ideas, to tell you
pour échanger des idées.
I have not been involved in the
Je n'ai pas participé directement au projet,
but I remember at the very beginning of the project,
mais au début du projet, je me rappelle,
4 years ago,
il y a 4 ans,
I was telling to Sarah, no?
je disais à Sarah,
With Victor Messeger and Alessia and many others, talking about the idea of having
on parlait
projects
de l'idée d'avoir un projet
for social
pour les compétences, pour l'économie sociale et solidaire.
thought that was necessary. I'm making time, but I suppose that the presentation will
J'espère que la présentation va être affichée à l'écran, sinon ça fait rien.
well, at that time,
Bon, à l'époque, au début du projet,
we are different, so we
on pensait, OK, on est différent,
okay.
donc
Is here it is. Okay. Great. So the idea of having this
et donc l'idée
was quite interesting. Why?
est intéressante,
Because we feel different. We know we are
parce
different,
que
okay?
on savait
But
qu'on
we
était
never
différent,
this,
mais
in terms of skills, we always talk about technical
on ne parlait pas des compétences, on parlait toujours des compétences techniques. Mais qu'est-ce que cela veut dire
to be a company of social economy.
que d'être une société d'économie sociale?
No? What is
Qu'est-ce que cela veut dire qu'être une coopérative? Quelle est la différence?
at the very beginning, we
Au
have
début,
been talking about the gaps, no?
on parlait des déficits,
Between
des différences, des écarts
skilling
pour ce qui est de la réqualification, de la montée en compétences.
primary school, secondary
Chez nous, nous avons l'école primaire, l'école secondaire, nous avons
and
tout,
we see
tout ce qu'il
a
faut.
lot of gaps. Even
Mais il y a plusieurs déficits, plusieurs écarts. Même si on a toutes les structures, il y a des écarts entre l'université,
our cooperatives, our industrial
nos coopératives,
professionals, okay?
nos professionnels industriels.
An engineer was a real engineer for 20 years. Now, a very good engineer is a good engineer for
Maintenant, un bon ingénieur peut rester ingénieur pendant 2 ans et pas pendant 20 ans, comme c'était le cas auparavant.
we have spent 4 years.
Et nous avons passé 4 ans pour ce plan, sur ce plan, et en même temps,
A lot.
l'Europe a beaucoup changé.
So the Europe, well, we have been talking about future. Future is
Donc, on parle de l'avenir. L'avenir, c'est maintenant.
today is the future
Aujourd'hui, c'est déjà l'avenir
idea of
de cette première
the
idée
project.
d'avoir ce projet BASE.
The question is, do you really think, or
Est-ce que vous pensez,
thought at that time
est-ce que vous aviez pensé à
that
l'époque
the future is
que l'avenir
today?
allait être comme ce que nous avons aujourd'hui? Car l'Europe a changé de façon draconienne.
Talk now about
Donc, quand on parle d'Europe, maintenant, on parle de compétitivité,
talk about the strategic autonomy.
on parle d'autonomie stratégique, mais qu'est-ce que cela veut dire? Nous avons là
Baptiste was
Baptiste
someone from DG Employment.
de la DG Emploi.
Difference between
Il y a une différence
social economy companies and other
entre les sociétés d'économie sociale et les autres sociétés. Pour nous,
objective.
l'emploi est un objectif.
It is not for automotive.
Ce n'est pas
For aircraft.
un moyen.
Not for defense.
Ce n'est pas pour la défense, ce n'est pas pour les avions.
But when we talk about no one
Et
behind,
quand on parle de ne laisser personne derrière. C'est nous, les personnes. Et nous, on pourrait rester derrière, en arrière, parce que nous, on pourrait perdre les compétences. Donc, ce qui est le plus important, c'est de s'occuper des personnes. Ce qui veut dire, nous nous occupons de l'emploi. Et stratégie, autonomie stratégique, qu'est-ce que cela veut dire? Nous devons être compétitifs pour avoir des emplois ici et pas ailleurs. Donc, quand on parle de ne laisser derrière personne, je parle de nous, je ne parle pas de quelqu'un d'autre. Enfin, le projet BASE, là, c'était le début du projet. Et maintenant, nous avons un cadre. J'utilisais cette idée. Les règles, nous sommes très enracinés dans le territoire. Nous avons les piliers maintenant. Et les piliers, bon, je vais essayer de résumer tout en 3 piliers. Premier pilier, le cadre général du sociocomp. Vous avez parlé de la nécessité pour l'économie sociale d'avoir ce cadre des compétences. Et nous l'avons déjà. Là, on parle de triple transition numérique, écologique, juste. Et nous avons aussi intégré la gouvernance démocratique. Quelle est la différence entre l'économie sociale et les autres sociétés? Quand on parle de notre système démocratique, qu'est-ce que cela veut dire? Est-ce que cela veut dire qu'on peut voter tous les 4 ans? Nos sociétés, nos coopératives sont une école de démocratie. Si vous voulez vraiment une société démocratique, une Europe démocratique, il faut pousser les coopératives et les systèmes démocratiques, même dans les affaires. Parce que sinon, on n'aura pas une Europe démocratique. Donc là, on parle d'emploi, on parle d'autonomie stratégique et de démocratie. La démocratie, c'est quelque chose sur laquelle nous devons nous former chaque jour, quotidiennement, pour toutes nos décisions. Quand on parle de compétences, une de ces compétences, c'est la gouvernance démocratique. Ce n'est pas facile, hein? Et pourquoi? Pour avoir plus d'impact social. Parce que quand on parle d'impact social, on parle de notre communauté. Et quand on parle des compétences, nous parlons de construire des communautés. Et avec ce projet, maintenant, nous avons un langage commun entre nos acteurs différents. Nous avons les universités, les sociétés, employeurs, propriétaires, décideurs politiques. Nous parlons des cartes, des déficits qu'il y a entre les universités et le marché. Voilà pourquoi à Mondragon, nous guidons EU for Dual, c'est-à-dire les universités doivent être plus proches de la vie réelle, des usines, des industries. Et pourquoi? Parce que nous ne pouvons pas avoir ces écarts, ces différences. Tout a déjà eu lieu. On parle d'intelligence artificielle, oui. Nous avons eu plusieurs processus d'automatisation. ce qui est le plus important, le changement le plus important maintenant, c'est l'esprit des changements. C'est la rapidité des changements, la vitesse du changement. On ne peut pas avoir ces écarts, car les changements sont trop rapides. Ensuite, les compétences futures. Et là, on parle de coopération, de gouvernance démocratique, de leadership éthique. Qu'est-ce que cela veut dire? Maintenant, en Europe, on ne parle que de défense. Quel sera l'avenir de nos industries? On va tous construire des drones? Allez, nous avons d'autres objectifs. Voilà pourquoi nous avons besoin de cette leadership éthique. Mais on n'en parle pas. Et pourtant, c'est tellement important. Maintenant que nous avons un cadre, je voudrais vous rappeler une phrase du fondateur du mouvement des Mondragons qui disait que le seul projet ou idée qui est vraiment bon, c'est celui qui se transforme dans une action. Nous avons le plan, nous avons les cadres, nous avons des feuilles de route et maintenant, nous devons mettre en œuvre tout ce qu'on vient de faire. Car maintenant, nous ne sommes pas à la fin du projet. Nous sommes au point de départ d'un nouveau projet. Maintenant, il s'agit de commencer à faire. On a étudié, on a préparé les plans, tout ce qu'on a développé, les programmes de formation qu'on a développés, les curriculums universitaires qu'on a élaborés. Maintenant, il faut les mettre en place, il faut les mettre en œuvre pour construire des communautés. Donc, le patrimoine, l'héritage, c'est un concept très, très important. Donc, dans nos coopératives, nous avons commencé à travailler, nous avons reçu les résultats du travail des nouvelles générations. Nous sommes des propriétaires temporaires. Donc, il faut laisser quelque chose de mieux aux générations futures. Et quand on parle de projet BASE, il faut faire la même chose. On a fait un grand travail. Maintenant, il s'agit de les transmettre aux générations futures. Voilà pourquoi il faut passer à l'action. Voilà pourquoi il faut mettre en œuvre ces plans dans la vie réelle de nos sociétés, de nos universités, de nos gouvernements, dans la vie des décideurs politiques. Nous voulons avoir plus d'impact, n'est-ce pas? Je vous donne un exemple. Nous avons développé aussi un autre projet appelé A7. C'est un exemple. Nous voulons associer tous ces acteurs pour développer une perspective think tank, un laboratoire social. Nous avons besoin de plus de coopératives, plus de sociétés sociales. Nous avons besoin de vrais résultats, parce que sinon, ça ne servira à rien. Il faut être ambitieux pour ce qui est de notre avenir. Quand nous disons que nous voulons un avenir meilleur, qu'est-ce que nous entendons par là? D'après moi, il faut plus de coopératives, plus de personnes comme vous, plus d'emplois. Il faut construire de meilleures communautés. Donc, nous avons réuni tous ces acteurs dans ce projet et maintenant, il faut plus de contacts avec les gouvernements, les décideurs politiques, entre les sociétés, pour construire de nouvelles réalités, pour avoir plus d'activités, plus de bonnes activités, plus d'activités sociales. Il ne s'agit pas seulement de survivre, il s'agit de devenir de plus en plus grand. Et les compétences jouent un rôle important dans ce contexte. Et enfin, je voudrais partager avec vous que parfois, normalement, les gens disent, oui, mais cette coopération, cette démocratie, c'est un peu le bordel, hein, parce qu'il faut rester compétitif. Mais ce n'est pas là le choix.
The people show into society that it's possible to combine competitiveness with cooperation.
On peut relier compétitivité et coopération. Quand on nous dit que ce n'est pas possible, c'est parce qu'il n'y a pas de système démocratique. OK? Il peut y avoir un lien. Compétition et coopération peuvent aller de pair. Il s'agit d'innovation et de solidarité. La solidarité est à la base de nos systèmes. On peut parler d'innovation, non seulement innovation sociale, mais aussi technique. Intelligence artificielle, nouveaux projets, pourquoi pas? Mais on peut le faire dans un cadre de solidarité. On parle de technologie et démocratie. À chaque fois que quelqu'un dit l'intelligence artificielle est une menace, alors ça peut aider. L'intelligence artificielle peut aider, à condition d'être transparent. L'intelligence artificielle pourrait nous aider à partager toutes nos informations, par exemple. Donc, il faut combiner technologie et démocratie. C'est ce qu'on est en train de faire, mais il faut faire de plus. Et enfin, performance économique et impact social. C'est drôle car si vous êtes profitable, vous ne pouvez pas avoir un impact social. Mais ce n'est pas vrai. Nous pouvons associer ces deux aspects. Maintenant qu'on a le projet BASE, nous avons développé ces compétences. Ces compétences sont très importantes pour que nos personnes soient prêtes à atteindre ces objectifs. Voilà. Et un dernier, un grand merci pour votre patience et pour votre travail. Merci.
Thank you, Inigo. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. So this time, let's dive in.
Et maintenant, on passe à approfondir le côté pratique du projet BASE.
Julia said, I'm Josie from ESS France, and I'm here to represent the French team.
Là, je représente l'équipe française. Pour moi, l'idée est de vous donner quelques détails sur notre travail, ce que nous avons fait en France, et partager avec vous les leçons tirées de cette expérience. Alors, nous avons préparé le programme de formation.
Yes, as I said, we delivered the training program to more than 150
à plus de 150 participants dans 7 régions françaises. En France, le programme s'est concentré sur une question clé. Comment l'économie sociale et solidaire, les entreprises peuvent intégrer la transition écologique dans leur stratégie globale. Voilà nos objectifs. Aider les organisations à repenser, reconsidérer leur modèle économique de façon à rester durable à long terme. Ensuite, construire des organisations plus résilientes, mieux équipées pour les futurs défis environnementaux et économiques. Et enfin, rendre la transition écologique, faire de la transition écologique quelque chose sur lequel les organisations peuvent intervenir. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on a fait en France?
You can see, we have a kind of map later, but
Nous avons une carte à vous montrer, mais
strategy we've
la stratégie principale que nous avons adoptée
with
est de travailler
social and solidarity economy
avec les régions.
in France. For us, they were the best partners
Pour nous, c'était les meilleurs partenaires pour la mise en œuvre
of their regional implementation.
pour leur enracinement régional. Nous avons mieux identifié les besoins des formations au niveau local. En effet, les défis écologiques ont des impacts spécifiques sur l'activité des organisations selon le secteur. Voilà pourquoi nous avons travaillé avec des réseaux sectoriels spécifiques pour répondre aux besoins de chaque secteur. Donc, par exemple, santé, soins, culture, sport, etc. Donc, cette approche collaborative assurait que la formation répondait aux besoins concrets plutôt qu'à des besoins généraux. Et donc, on a pu maximiser la participation des personnes formées. Ah, voilà. Là, vous pouvez voir sur cette carte le développement de nos activités dans les 7 régions françaises. Alors, structure de la formation. Alors, on a eu 3 phases complémentaires. D'abord, une introduction qui a exploré les idées principales de la transition écologique. En particulier, cette interdépendance entre l'écosystème et les activités d'économie sociale et solidaire. Ensuite, les participants ont travaillé sur un cas d'étude sectoriel en utilisant des outils pratiques comme vulnérabilité, analyse d'adaptation et plan d'action. Enfin, chaque région a choisi une thématique sur la base de ses priorités. En Occitanie, par exemple, nous avons exploré la transition énergétique dans le secteur de la santé. Dans une région, on se concentrait sur les capacités nécessaires pour soutenir les organisations pour leur transformation écologique interne. Par cette approche, nous espérons que les organisations sont plus équipées, mieux équipées pour mettre en doute les pratiques existantes. Dans certains cas, abandonner certaines activités qui ne sont plus durables. L'aspect clé, c'est d'anticiper ces changements. Les organisations ont encore des choix. Mais les conséquences du changement climatique sont bien visibles. Alors, plutôt que d'attendre quand il sera trop tard, il vaut mieux s'adapter rapidement. Donc, le but est d'avoir des organisations plus résilientes, mieux équipées pour les prochains défis. Nous sommes très contents. Là, vous pouvez voir quelques photos de nos activités avec nos participants. Nous avons choisi un format sous forme d'atelier avec un échange entre pairs. Pour conclure les formations, nous avons développé ces faits d'évaluation. L'idée est de tirer des leçons de chaque session, de chaque phase d'activités dans ces 7 régions. Si vous êtes curieux, vous pouvez les trouver sur notre site web. Alors, pour ce qui est des perspectives, donc la meilleure formation, une meilleure formation est la stratégie la plus importante. Et nous avons donné aux participants des outils pratiques pour identifier les priorités, pour élaborer un plan d'action. Nous avons dit que l'intelligence artificielle peut changer les compétences, mais peut-être on a oublié quelque chose d'important, c'est-à-dire que oui, la transformation écologique nous interpelle sur notre capacité de nous adapter. Et ces formations vont aider les organisations, on espère, à intégrer des considérations écologiques dans leur processus de prise des décisions quotidiens, avec plus de confiance et plus d'équipements pour continuer cette transition. Et une dernière chose que je voulais dire, il y a eu une surprise à la fin des formations, car pour continuer le travail que nous avons commencé à travers la formation BASE, plusieurs acteurs régionaux nous ont dit qu'ils ont besoin de continuer ces formations, ces échanges de pratiques. Donc, ce sera une opportunité pour les chambres régionales d'économie sociale et solidaire de s'approprier de cette thématique. Et nous espérons pouvoir faciliter ces échanges réguliers. Et maintenant, nous avons hâte de voir, après cette session ensemble, qu'est-ce qu'on pourra faire. On espère faire plus de progrès à l'avenir. Merci.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Josie, Inigo. I think BASE has this exactly this EU-level framework approach.
Voilà, ce cadre européen, cette approche européenne des BASE est important. Mais en même temps, nous pouvons nous adapter aux régions, aux acteurs différents, etc. Maintenant, est-ce que vous avez des questions? Sinon, je vous invite à une pause café. Et vous pouvez regarder la description des ateliers.
It's practice and into action. So take your moment and afterwards we'll rearrange here to the workshops. Thank you.
All right, so together with Claudia and Julia, where's Julia? Ah, here. We're gonna follow for this session, very quick session of the reflection on and sustainability, but first we will give you a quick wrap up for of the 3 workshops that we've been following, 3 of us. And then we're going to follow with the sequence of questions addressed to you on different barriers for the trainings, a little bit related to skills, so everything what we discussed today. So it would be really nice if you actively participate, and what are your conclusions, what are your reflections. And then at the end, we'll have a Mentimeter. So really quick questions, and then we'll have a nice result in the cloud. So let's start. Workshop A. Yeah?
Hi. So I participated in workshop A. Thank you very much, Marina, Carolina, and Barbara. Thank you. So we started a bit because Barbara in AIPNet, she was the one leading all the design of the training, of the catalog. So that's one of the things she mentioned, that is not just a curricula that you take and you implement. So it mentioned we focus on all this part of adaptability. It's a catalog that each different organizations will adapt according to their needs, according to their target group. And in the case study, we had a DOBA business school that they are 100% online. So they did two different delivery methodologies to focus on the needs of each participant and adapting to it. So in the end, we had to do an activity. How would we design our training methodology? How would we develop and implement a course? And we did two separate groups to a bit compare. And both mentioned about working with the challenges that we have. So inside the organization, we have the real challenge. And I think was also a lot on the sharing. So both also mentioned the sharing and mentoring. If you don't have a follow-up, you don't finish the mock. And but also the one group mentioned how it's good to have maybe other challenges, not only that one that you're focusing on to help brainstorming the solution, and also how the participants can get different answers from that same challenge, and afterwards they will share together, and create the solution themselves. This, I think, was and then thank you for filling in the moral of skills, because I saw there creativity, motivation, sharing, engaging. So I think it reflects on what we saw in the workshop on this, engaging this more human, people-centered approach. I think, and then people from my workshop can add anything they want to, but we go in the main points for now. Workshop B, outside.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank to all the partners, not only the partners that were in workshop B. It was a long journey in this project. It was a long journey and with wonderful partners besides us. And I hope that in the future, maybe we will have the chance, based on what we propose today, to do some other projects, some other new initiatives in the field. So let's see how we can translate some parts of what we did in base project in university area, and how we can translate this part with skilling, upskilling to the university landscape. First of all, it is we discussed in our workshop around half an hour, unfortunately. We will need more time. I think when we stopped, we want to say more and more. So maybe if there are colleagues that wants to add something, they are more than welcome. What we discuss is that it is not so easy to introduce new classes or to integrate MOOC platforms in all our universities, mainly because it is a problem of accreditation of our courses, which means more than 4 years. At least in Romania, it is one course for 4 years. After 4 years, you can accreditate the others, but it is not impossible. And does not mean that we should implement all the MOOC, all the course, but we can implement, of course, parts of our courses. And one idea was that we should implement mainly the practical part of what we put in our courses in MOOC. We can introduce case studies and hands-on activities in our daily activity with students. It is important to give them the opportunity to understand better what is social economy, even if we have technical universities, for example, like we have in France. It is more important for them not only to understand the technical part of our course, but also to understand what is social economy about and what is the approach and philosophy of this ecosystem. We discuss about how to develop what we have, and one good idea was that we don't have to develop anymore. We have a lot of tools. We have a lot of practical tools that we have in our courses. It is important to try to translate and make them more easy to implement for teachers, because yes, we are a pool of trainers here, but if we discuss about universities, we should make, I think at the beginning, the training for teachers from the universities in order to understand the topic and then to implement what we put there. I don't know if I missed something. Marie? No? Was fine? Okay. So that's it from our side.
Mm-hmm. So I was at the workshop C, which took place here. We had a lot of participants. So the idea was to turn the base results to the follow-up actions and to promote those base results through those actions. So we had 4 tables. Each table had one of the tools. So it was a social comp table, trainings, then a sustainability roadmap, and MOOCs and curricula. And then each of the table came with more than 2 actions, but we voted. So then at the end we had a vote. So the winning one was for social comp was to pilot social comp within the SE Action large scale partnership. For the training, it was organized the trainers webinars, and FISE, our Polish partner, was the one that might do it with to train their internal trainers, and then those trainers will train the trainers. Then on sustainability and funding, the one action that won was to organize philanthropy events within the LSP, so large-scale partnership, just to get more different financing stream. And then for the credential was to multi-level recognition and quality assurance, so to make sure that we cooperate not only on the national level but also on the EU level, and to engage different stakeholders. So those are the main actions that were that won. So 4 of them, and I heard also from Sarah that some of them were really matching the one that you did for the sustainability plan, within the sustainability plan. So it's a good news. Yes, so those were the workshops, right? Then, just give me a second.
We moved already to the mentee. I think we have time for discussion. At least 1-2 questions, because we would like to translate what we have from workshops to what we can do really in our daily life, and maybe we can have 2 questions, and maybe you would like to respond. I know it is after lunch. I never like to have to moderate something after lunch, because all the people wants to sleep, not to talk. But maybe it is the last chance maybe to talk in this project. We will have online meetings, but face-to-face it is the last chance, so maybe it's time to have at least 2 questions before Mentimeter. Okay?
Help us. So the first question
is related to what are the biggest barriers to scaling up what we have done in base project, and mainly this part with skilling and upskilling, and think also how we can translate this at national level, because yes, we developed this at EU level, but now the most important part is to translate what we did at our national level. So how, and regional, yes, not only national. So let's think at the barriers, and let's think what we can do, how we can translate this.
Do you have any ideas? Like taking from your perspective, I'm gonna go and shoot. The people that I know. I will ask you to speak. Alexander, you're the first one. So, you want to do it? You want? You want first? Go first, Yeva.
Yeah, I'll give him time to think. Just because before he took an amazing photo of our Lisva delegation, so here's your time to think. Paying kindness with kindness. So in terms of barriers, I think in 2 years ago, I was at the Pact for Skills meeting in Ateliers, just where we were last year. So in my mind, when you said barriers, right, for scaling the results was exactly this. There are so many things, these initiatives under the Pact for Skills, right, that we are sort of keeping track. There are a lot of people doing things in different industries and so on. And we did have a big, workshops and so on in terms of, that had to do about, social and proximity economy and the skills that are needed there, what is going on and so on. So now I'm thinking that in terms of barriers, you usually would have this overwhelming amount of tools, initiatives, and so on. And they are they are related, and obviously okay, so in short, the barrier would be that we either don't see the synergies, or we start with this sort of negative attitudes like, oh, there is so much stuff, so I don't know where to start, which one to use. So this one has and that's now with the implementation on the national and regional level. So the base project results are good in a sense that they have this label of social economy. It was social economy people, organizations, people who know, who have identified it. You also worked, you already worked on these synergies. Maybe that was not the keyword. I know this keyword was very popular like 20 years ago. Maybe there's a better word. I'm just using this one because and whenever camera is pointed at me, I lose words. So synergies. So I think what helps is having that message, especially on like subnational regions level or national level, say, look, we did all this work. You guys did all this work in 4 years. Here's that. And then another keyword, which is usually considered bad, is toolkit. Oh, not another toolkit. But here, the SOSCOM, like I am one of the researchers who worked on the Entrecom, on entrepreneurship competence, together with my colleagues from entrepreneurship education. There is, just recently, just 2 weeks ago, one more project finished, and there is a change comp wheel for change making. And my French colleague was part of that project as well. So let's see, how these wheels can become sort of united. So from engineering, I heard here from engineering department, right, of Mondragon. So for sure, there should be a way to connect these little pulleys, to connect them between themselves and start seeing that when we turn the lever of change comp, how is SOSCOM turning? So maybe that, and just saying, I don't know, to a municipality, like, look, we have this and this and this in Lithuanian, in Romanian, and let's do this, that this is not necessarily a brand new toolkit, because again, at least for me, if I hear another, oh, it's a new toolkit, then I get a headache. I'm not sure about you. Okay, I hope that was helpful and you were thinking of something else to say.
May I repeat everything?
You can have it. That photo was in.
Okay. For our perspective, in general, it's always difficult to do something formal with formal education. Claudia mentioned earlier accreditation process of our faculties, our VAT providers to approach to formal education in general. So we are trying to our programs to implement and to work with the skills and results of the project with people who are in education, to use it as an informal tool for the formal education. So when we speak with the professors, he uses our tools in their regular classes. So we spread our results of the project directly in the classes without accreditation and to put them. In Serbia it's possible. I think that other professors and people can find a way. Also, what is very good from our perspective, and we put results from previous project in new one. For example, we've done some project regarding to proximity in the previous period. Now we are working new project with urban development and urban planning and participation of people, and we use the models from the previous project in the new one. So we spread a lot, 7 countries in Europe, the results of the previous project. So I think that is everything on the people, on our stakeholders, on the people in education, and how they can use these results to, I think, to make the move and the round of the barriers to implement it in the formal and in the general work they do to find the path to the people who want to have new skills, social skills, which is important for the social economy in general.
Can I add just one thing? I think that it's continuing what Alexandra said. I think that in the countries like we are from the same country, Serbia, which don't have such social economy infrastructure, meaning the whole thing, the whole idea, the strategies, partners who are collaborating, cooperating and everything. When you are in a country which is not EU, which is not even close to EU because of the things it did not do concerning reforms, we must use alternative ways to support social economy. So I agree with him. For us, it's very difficult to reach to formal education in schools because social economy on the list from 1 to 100 is on 300 first place. So you must reach people who are interested, to work with them one-on-one, to use more informal mentoring and training than to expect methodologies and toolkits to be implemented officially and from top to bottom. So we have to do bottom up and to work years and years in order to have this support and infrastructure. And it is very nice having support from all of you, and we are heading a long way. It's not even a highway, so we need support to do it bottom up and to at the end to reach the same goal.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if there are other people that want to discuss. No.
Just
after lunch.
Yeah. Just to mention that Alexander was the representative of Young Ambassadors and from Serbia, and they are also working a lot with the young people. And I've seen, like, I had a first-hand experience as well, how they do the capacity building and training, especially with the young people, in a very unconventional way. So bringing those skills and competences through games, through hackathons, let's say. And I've been at the festival, at Krenji Festival, when it was more focused on creative industry, and we've seen how we together, did the training on some social entrepreneurship skills. So yes, bottom-up approach and very informal way of pushing those skills and competences to the young people. Very good work. Yeah. Sorry for my digression.
Yes, I was going to answer the person that I don't see anymore, but because she mentioned synergies, and we used this, and I think we used in the base was the clusters that we used. So it was the social economy with the university, with the vet providers. So that's, I think, the approach that we tried to use. And also, again, to not just create something new, it was all based in the DG Comp, in the Green Comp, so existing things, to try to not start from scratch when we already have lots of things.
Yeah, we extrapolated basically different competences from those 3: social, entre-comp, especially entre-comp and DG Comp. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It is time.
It is time, yes,
it's
we're
time
short on time.
For Mentimeter.
But this is for those who didn't speak, and
those who cannot.
They can write.
You can write. Okay, so.
What is that? How does it work?
How does it work?
I think you see the questions and... Ok. C'est toi, c'est moi. Tu le fais? Je reste ici et il va changer l'écran.
Okay. Have you scanned? Okay.
I think we have to go to the website of Mentimeter online, and then the answers will appear. That's the digital part of BASE. Which of BASE tools is most necessary in your country? So we are locally, regional, national level. There you go. Take your time. We didn't even mention all of them. We have a social comp. The magazine. Well, when you go in the website, we have magazine, we have online monitoring tool, we have a mapping of the stakeholders, existing trainings, impact evaluation, training courses. Ooh, thumbs up. Base Watch, that's a partner. For LT? What? For LT? What do you mean? 4 liters. Okay. I don't know. Thank you. Yes, I think the social comp, the mock, and the training, especially with face-to-face training, wrap up the workshop and the main things that we saw today. Thank you. Do you want to say anything? It's fine. I got, thank you. There's more. Okay, but you arrive home, you unpack your bags. Which of the base tools would you use instantly? Not thinking tomorrow in your organization, you'll be using them. Which means it's also easy, adaptable, or usable. Not only you want to, but you can actually implement. It's realistic. Oops. Yes, I need someone to magazine. I get the credits for that. Thank you, thank you. The magazines, yeah, they're great. I love them. Me too. You can take them home, by the way. You're welcome. So magazine. Oh my God. When it's bigger, it's because more people answer the same. I love that the magazine is there. For base students as introduction. Oh, that's nice stuff. It's true that's more accessible. You just take it to your office. Okay. Thank you. You happy? Oops. Yes, I'm happy. That's it. Which of the base tools are you taking home to implement? The magazine. It's the same. We can pass that one. The mock. I'm sorry for that one that answered the mock. Thank you. Okay, and which of base tools would you like to see implemented as systemic solution? That's deep. You want to explain this? It's deep. I think we've got all of them. Yeah. All. And the glossary. That's cute. Yes. Yeah, we have a glossary with all these terms. For those who didn't understand something here, there's a glossary in the website. I will implement it soon. Competence. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, like face to face. Thank you. I think this is the last question. Yes. Yes. Thank you for your inputs. We are going to take them home for the reporting and to also have it. We'll make a poster. But we have the last session, which we have Felix, Ron, and Sarah, the host. They're going to wrap up to us the session, a bit of the realistic, if we actually can implement all this that we really want from BASE, we'll see. And yes, a fireside chat talk to wrap up our great day. Please, thank you.
Thank you.
They work excellent. Bear with us. We're just going to stay here another 15 minutes just to conclude everything and have a chat on skills, see where everything is going from what we've started and how also it is inscribed in a bigger policy objectives of the Commission and also of the ecosystem, of course. So we're not going to come back on all the outputs that we did. It's been said and repeated, but it's a big project. It was 4 years. We were over 20 partners, and we managed to develop all these outputs. And now the question is really, how do they continue and how do they integrate different EU policies? I mean, first of all, we're really proud of the output that we developed because for the social economy ecosystem, they were needed because most of the training, except in some countries where social economy is very developed, these are not trainings that we have in our everyday life in high school and so on. In some countries, like in Belgium or Spain, you can find at university courses for social economy, but these are very specific and they're not very widespread. And in terms of training also, we often lack the trainings that we need in social economy that make our specificities. And so often social economy organizations or enterprises have to teach themselves to their workers. How do you have democratic governance? How do you make a sustainable economic model? And also, I think that so it's really important to have this assessment of the skills that we need in social economy, because that hadn't really been done at European level, not only to work, to run, but also for supporters of social economy to be able to support us. And so, yes, and this morning it was said, we are in a labor market that is is changing very fast in terms of skills, needs, and competences. And maybe you will say I'm wrong, but it seems to me like in the Union of Skills, there's a lot of focus on STEMs when the skills that we have as an ecosystem that make our ecosystem, that are not sector dependent, are most of all soft skills. But they're also the skills that we need for resilience, because it's about identifying an issue, finding a solution, making the solution sustainable, and wrap it all up with a democratic governance. You don't find that training all over the place, but we need this. This is what the society, a fast-changing society, needs to have. So I think that here we have a very important aspect that we hope that the Commission will take on board and spread. But we didn't only do it in the frame of what social economy needs, we also did it in the frame of the green transition and the digital transition. Because those were the priorities back in the days when the BASE project started. But now the EU priorities are different. It's more about competitiveness, it's about resilience. But I think that even there we have a lot to show with the skills that we need in our ecosystem. But so, the BASE project is really, in my view, at the crossroad of two important policies at European level, the Social Economy Action Plan and the Union of Skills. I'll quickly say about the Social Economy Action Plan for those who don't know it. There are like 63 actions. that have been developed in 2021, and they have to go up until 2030, and they're around 3 pillars. The first one is improving legal frameworks. The second one is about creating opportunities. And the third one is about visibility and statistics. We need the frameworks for our tools to be disseminated, but we've really, I think, contributed a lot to creating opportunities, to providing the skills and competences that the ecosystem needs, but also in providing more visibility. But now, Felix, maybe as you are working for DG Employment, specialized in the Union of Skills and skills development, can you explain to us how does this project come into the Union of Skills, and explain to us a little bit what this Union of Skills is?
Well, I'm not a sector specialist, so I cannot go into detail what this project will bring to the sector, but of course, I don't know what my colleague Baptiste Mondou said this morning, but one of the actions of the Social Economy Action Plan is scaling up skills training and entrepreneurship. And here we have action strands like large-scale skills partnership, green and digital capacity building, circular economy partnership and guidance. But these are business support. So access to resources, of course. And here, I'm sure you have made a contribution to the Social Economy Action Plan. And we have heard now just from the participants, how can you ensure uptake of your project results? You got some responses, of course. And one very important platform, so to say, for uptake of projects like this one, you are not the only blueprint. There have been and are ongoing 4 blueprints in total in the sector of social economy. Well, one platform for uptake and for spreading and exploiting the project results of blueprint projects is, of course, the large-scale skills partnership for the social economy, where Sarah is also involved as coordinator. And I have learned that the PACT partnership has formed a working group where all blueprint coordinators of the finalized blueprints, of the ongoing blueprints, are involved. They are sitting in the working group, and I find this is a very efficient way to go forward, to coordinate, so not to work in isolation, but to join forces as blueprint coordinators. And when it's about uptake at national or regional level, then I know it's difficult, but we got a response. I heard we have to go around the barriers. We have to be a little bit flexible. We take the project results and we add them to existing courses. That's the way where our blueprint participants do it. They take the blueprint results and change slightly the existing courses. Then, of course, that's at university level. Anyway, universities have more leverage than vocational education and training. When it comes to vocational education and training and then uptake of project results, then it depends, in fact, on the country. There are countries which give their vocational schools more leverage. Other countries are centralized. If you take, for example, Denmark is completely regionalized. Regional social partners, they are supervising the vocational school. And when the regional social partners say, this is wonderful, if the sector says, this is what we need, you just school, take it, build it in. But in countries where this is very much centralized, then, of course, it's very cumbersome to integrate blueprint project results in the initial vocational training. When it comes to continuing vocational training, that's a completely different thing. because there's much more freedom. As long as industry, in your case, the social economy actors, the social economy enterprises say, this is training what we need, then this training can be given by training providers. And when then you have, for example, you can have micro-credentials, you can give these training certificates or badges. If industry says, yeah, we recognize that, then you can do it. So it's easier to make uptake, to organize uptake via continuing education and training. And then now I go back rather to the political level, higher levels. You mentioned now it's priority of the Commission is much more on competitiveness, but that doesn't exclude the social economy because you have social economy enterprises and they also want to be competitive. So you are part.
They don't want to be, they are.
You are part of the game, so to say. That's for sure. And as I have learned, the social economy is a growing sector, and yeah, and even with the new generations and even younger than Generation Z, they look for purpose. They say salary is second priority. First priority is purpose. So, and all sectors are fighting for people. I've never met a sector who said we have enough people. Maybe they do not want to meet the Commission because they have enough people. I don't know. I doubt it. And so you have in fact a kind of advantage with the social economy. You address young people of today.
Thank you.
I answered the question.
Partially, but maybe in your view, what should we put forward more from the output that we have to be more visible in the Union of Skills and the different actions that are taken for upskilling and reskilling of workers generally, not just in our ecosystem?
When you say we, you mean now the
social economy ecosystem sector, yes.
Okay, not the blueprint. Okay. Well, I would say that politically spoken, if you want more visibility at European level, you have already lots of visibility because you have this PACT partnership for social economy. So, and the PACT is here to stay, and the Commission will continue to work on the PACT. We will try to reinforce the PACT, and for example, we want to organize more meetings between PACT partnerships that have certain, let's say, interests in common. I don't know which PACT partnerships for you would be interesting to cooperate with.
Well, that's what's a bit complicated because in the LS, so there's 20 LSPs now in different sectors of activities. Yes. We're the only one who's not linked to a sector of activity, but in a way of running of business. And of course, the digital ecosystem is interesting because it's a level playing field. The digital, we all need it. But on the other side, I'm thinking, aren't there some skills some training development and increasing competences that we could share with other ecosystem. I think you showed me a PowerPoint once with the different ecosystems.
That's the moment to show the PowerPoint.
There's a. Do you have the PowerPoint? Yeah, is the green one? Here you go. You can.
Okay, I get up. Otherwise, I hurt myself. Okay. You get the presentation anyway, so this is not the one I mean. This is the one Sarah was talking about. This is the slide. This is what we have clustered by sectors which represent strategic priorities for the European Commission. And now you can have a look and see which skills social economy workers might share already now, or maybe in the future. Skills are emerging, changing all the time with other sectors shown here, and then you can take contact with them. As I said, in the future we will organize meetings between these PACT partnerships that have skills to develop and in common. Yeah? For some sectors, this is also important because they are looking for people and they're looking out to other sectors that are in decline. So here we speak about transferable skills, skills that a worker has experience in, has used, but needs a new job in another sector and can take these skills with him so that the retraining takes less time because part of the experience is already there. Maybe I quickly, these are the figures of the PACT since we do the survey. The PACT exists since 2020 and the surveys we did since 2022. So you see the PACT has developed quite a momentum, and just the figures. So this is now the union of skills and the Pact for Skills and how they relate to each other. Here you can see that on that slide as well. You see also, if you look in particular at the second box, reduce fragmentation across skills initiatives. We want that these Erasmus actions mainly, but not only, but if you take the Centers of Vocational Excellence, blueprints, European University Alliances, we would like to see that implemented in the framework of the Pact. And there we have to consider the award criteria. We have to look who is Pact member, who is not. But that's okay. In the future, this is an internal process for a call for proposal, of course. Then we have to look also at PACT members, okay, but did PACT members or a PACT partnership, did they do pledges? So we are about to think about these things to build in our award criteria, at least for some Erasmus actions. Novelties. Okay, we have the support services of those who know the PACT, the support services for the PACT partnership, they are continued. We have a new contract, 2 years, renewable for another 2 years. And the contractor is the same as in the past, which some of the PACT partnerships have already welcomed. Okay, I think I stop with this because I mentioned already some initiatives. On the top, you have the initiatives, and then on the bottom, you have various project types. And interesting are the VET business partnerships, but I'm afraid not for your sector because you do not figure in the European Competitiveness Fund. Yeah? You don't, huh? if I'm not mistaken. But again, here we have some sectors mentioned in the European Competitiveness Fund and other sectors not, but there's also Erasmus Plus, of course. So this also has to be developed in the future, and we have to see that we continue to offer interesting project opportunities to all sectors. Yeah,
Indeed.
for sure.
This is where we can indeed look for fundings to continue to disseminate the output and further develop the output that we already did, indeed. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I've talked to...
Okay, well then maybe to conclude, do you have a recommendation for us that you think from what you've heard, from what we've said, Is there anything specific you would recommend us to do to make sure that we upskill and reskill our workers, but maybe also that we could share our skills with other ecosystems? What would you want? What would be a message for you to us as project partners?
I mean, what I would recommend, you have already done it. This is this working group with the blueprint coordinators, and then also that the uptake. I let's say talked about some experiences that project coordinators shared with me. I shared it with you now. I can say continue the good work. I'm sure you will. In autumn, there will be the next call for proposals for Erasmus Plus published, and you will have the blueprints, the centers of vocational excellence, which might also be interesting after a blueprint, because centers of vocational excellence, they work at regional level. So the blueprint usually is at European level with umbrella organization involved. The skills intelligence is at European level, and there's a sector strategy elaborated by the blueprint, and this can be taken up by a centers of vocational excellence project, which much more work at regional level in different countries, but at regional level. They can use the sector strategy, break it down for their region. Their region might have a smart specialization strategy and marry that or improve the regional smart specialization strategy with the with elements of the European strategy. And also the skills intelligence of a blueprint can be taken by a Centers of Vocational Excellence project and made more granular. Also granular in the sense adapted, also digging deeper to the regional situation, which skills are needed and for the regional skills ecosystem.
Great. Thank you very much. Well, for sure, now this is the final event. We still have a few papers to come out. We have a lot of ideas to continue to disseminate the work that we've done. What I'm really happy is I see a lot of motivations of everybody that worked in this project and even people who discovered it. And so, yeah, we will be looking into how to further disseminate everything with all the tools that we had. And for sure, it strengthened the ecosystem with multi-level governance, VAT providers, social economy actors, and workers, and so on. So I would like to thank everybody. And this is maybe the end of the BASE project, but it's just the beginning of the implementation. So we're all there.
Thank you. Yes, very welcome. Thank you very much for everybody that stayed until the end. So we have some peps for you that stayed, some bonus. I have 4 things to say, but before, personally, that are projects that are great, like BASE, but partnerships like this one, we don't find everywhere. So thank you very much. We did more than the KPIs, and we put emotions and late working hours, and thank you very much for the efforts. Now, we can drink outside. We enjoy the good time, which is rare in Brussels. You go this way, and we have some drinks outside. Thank you, Freddie McCurry, for their work, too. We are social economy. We try to recycle our things. You're not going to do anything with this at home, so you can leave it here. It's not mandatory, but it's recommended. Like this, we don't do this every time. You can take your name home. Then, there are soaps. So before you go, this is the goodie that's from a local organization right here in the Circularium that produces them himself. He also wanted to come here to talk about the soaps. He's traveling, good for him. And the tags that you have from BASE, it's to plant them. So you'll find them everywhere, also in the bag with the soap. you arrive home and you see bass growing in your garden. That's, I just came up with that. Thank you very much.